Hey everyone, uh, trying this again. I made another video a few minutes ago and it had a lot of anger in it, and I didn't really mean for it to be an anger kind of video because, of course, all the videos before this ones that I've made have been kind of an anger video. But I'm glad I got it out because what I really hope to do with this video is to give maybe some closure to um, some friends and neighbors and family members who are kind of confused as to what's going on with us. Um, and to be clear, I don't really owe anybody any explanations, but I know there are some people who are legitimately worried about us, and I wanted to let you know that we're doing great. My son's thriving, not being in um, that public school. He's learning a lot at home, doing a lot with electronics and things like that. Um, Made his own PCB board the other day, which I thought was amazing that he could, make something that I thought you could only buy in China. So that was pretty cool. Um, and he's learning a lot. I mentioned in my post about on Facebook. By the way, anybody can go on Facebook if you want and check out just get some knowledge and closure on some things that we're doing, and also things that can help you guys too. Um, it's Deb Shabbat DiGiorno, Shabbat Chabot. So if you want to go on there, it's open to the public. You don't have to friend me. Please don't friend me. Just go ahead and see what kind of things I'm posting. Mostly I'm sticking to just like things about what I'm doing being a postmaster and safeguarding our lives and my family's lives and safeguarding our property. Um, if you want to learn more about that, because I'm not going to go into specifics. I'm not a teacher about this. I'm not a postmaster working at a post office. Just a postmaster to safeguard our own lives, and everybody can do that too. Even the police. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see that I've been kind of coming at the police pretty hard last week, and I know some of you think that's really cruel. They've been through a lot, and I'm a recovering Trumpster, so I was always a big police supporter. But they're really making some poor choices, and they've been given closure on what's happening with my situation, who I am, and what kind of authority I have, and and yet they're still not um, giving me the space that I require and the safety that I require. So I'm not psyched about that. I don't like it. It kind of hit it last week when it really just got too much for me is when they parked outside because they can't come onto my property. I have no trespassing signs, but besides the no trespass, those are really just there as a courtesy because um, people don't comprehend the mechanics, postal mechanics. If you want to improve your own lives, I highly recommend learning about postal mechanics, but more importantly, going to lastflagstanding.com and learn about what um, Postmaster General Russell-J. Gould has done for the world, safeguarding us from, those evil um, powers that be, self-proclaimed elite. So you can see what he's done about that. You can learn all about the United States Corporation, how that ceased to exist in 1999, yet been running as this fraudulent government. And I know it's a lot to take. I understand, I comprehend that it's a lot for people because you, so many people have said to me like, well, we would know about this if this was a real thing. We would know about this. And I guess my answer to that is, or my response to that is, this is such a big thing that they've been hiding from us, like, and the way everybody finds out about things is social media or TV, mainstream media. So unless you see it with your own eyes, like why are you believing the media? I mean, at some point you got to think that some of these conspiracies might be true, but do your own soul searching. Not here to um, get anybody to be on board with what I'm doing, except in as far as I want you to leave us alone. Um, and that goes especially for the police, the courts, all that. Um, Slandering us to our neighbors, things like that. Everybody seems to want what's best for our kid, but he's our kid. He's not yours. He's not the courts. He's not the states. We're not part of the birth certificate system anymore. That ended in 1999. So everything written in fraud, even the birth certificates are all written in fraud, signed in fraud. You sign that birth certificate, it's a necromancy. Um, that's all fraud. So things like that. People leaving things in my mailbox. I don't know who left it there. I mean, I have my suspicions. It doesn't much matter. Um, I see it came over on a fax server. That's also fax server is also wire fraud. So whoever's getting that and moving forward with the wire fraud, it's something you may want to think about before you commit another felony. See, you're docking that vessel, that piece of paper, that vessel. You're docking that in my port. Um, and my port, that's my mailbox, because I've secured my vessel, my property, my land, my house. This is all my vessel. I've secured it. And when you dock something in my vessel, it becomes a foreign vessel in dry dock. And it's also trespassing. So, Chief Russell Hub J. Cole Gould, he talks about, if you're like this, if you try to board like a Chinese ship and you haven't sent your shipping's papers on ahead of time, and you got to send them ahead. You can't do it while you're there. You got to send them ahead. Otherwise, anybody coming on is going to be seen as a foreign vessel. And what do you do with a foreign vessel? This stuff sounds kind of crazy. It gets into like admiralty law and stuff, but it's the way things work, whether or not you believe it. The things I'm doing, to safeguard our family, it's not about what you believe or what your neighbor believes or what the TV is telling you. It is about fact and correctness. And your opinion doesn't mean anything to me, because I know my knowledge for what Chief's done for us, and how I'm using that technology to safeguard my family's lives. That's something that I know is fact because we're using it, and um, I'm hoping that other people will too, mostly because I care about my neighbors and friends and family, and I don't want to see other people go through what we're going through. But I just want you to know that when I make these videos and I seem mad about it, I mean, yes, I'm mad that they're trying to harvest my kid, but on the other hand, I'm just ticked that nobody's getting this, that nobody sees that this is all fraud. And I know some of you are probably like, well, my life's great, not mine, yours. Your life's great. You don't care. You don't want it to change. You don't want it to, to recognize that these things are happening, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we're moving into correctness, whether or not you want to go with us. That's cool. It'd be great if you did. I mean, we certainly could use the people, but I mean, I don't need it. I don't need you to safeguard my life. I can do that myself. Um, but what I'm more, I guess, concerned about lately, after what happened with last week and the police just really being unacceptable, sticking their faces in the, really just one guy has been horrendous, but sticking your face in the door, looking in my son's bedroom window. I mean, just 8:30 in the morning, just so, God, it's just pitiful. Anyway, so I hope this gets to the right person. Somebody could send this on to HPD, that would be great because I think a lot of people need closure on this. Even though I sent all of the officers in the territory I live in, I sent them all closure on my position. I feel like nobody's actually read. Like maybe take the time and read the documents I sent you because I get it. They're really hard to read. They're written in quantum and you don't know how to read that, but you can go to lastflagstanding.com and try to get a little more closure there because whether or not you comprehend um, the documents that I send you, the principal from the school, he got some stuff. Every single school committee member, they got some stuff. they they're trying to get us to comply with their homeschooling policy, except their policy is all in a box, and we already know about box, the law of boxing. Go to your federal styles manual if you want to learn about boxing. Any law contract in a box is omitted from the page. So the whole homeschool policy is in a box. So all of you homeschool or school committee members, you saw that. Again, you don't comprehend, go to lastflagstanding.com. Just because you may have stopped coming after me with, whatever garbage fiction you were coming after me with, all those felonies, just because you aren't doing that, to me specifically, doesn't mean that I haven't witnessed and other people can't witness your felonies. So, just being in there in that, well, I'm not going to get into that. Gets me on another topic, but um, lastflagstanding.com, get some closure there. I first learned about Chief Colin Russell-J. Colin Gould. I first learned about him on BitChute from Sergeant Robert Horton on Military's Dirtiest Secrets. And that was that was really weird just to hear about all the U.S. corporation and all that, and the international bankruptcies. And man, it just kind of, blew my mind to hear about these things for the first time. But boy, it really starts to make sense when you see like everything that these self-proclaimed elite have been trying to protect all this time. You can see why they would do it. But that doesn't mean that, the police, the schools, those people, it doesn't mean that you guys have to get sucked in too. I mean, I would love it if all the police would contact Chief at lastflagstanding.com, if they would contact Chief and get some closure on, what's happening. Like every time you write a ticket and you give it to somebody, you sign it, they sign it. I mean, it's just a felony. It's a felony because it's written in fraud. Um, and and you give it to somebody, you're like making them sign it for you, or you're making them sign this, and that's you got a gun, you got guns and clubs, you make people sign stuff. Like, of course they're gonna. You got guns and clubs. Like, can you not see like that you're committing felonies? I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't. I think it was hard for me to comprehend this too when I first started hearing about it, but lately I'm like, oh my God, like of course people are going to sign stuff when you got a gun in your or you're at their front door and you get your face in the window and I know you got a gun and shoot, we don't, what are we going to protect ourselves with when I got a fiction cop at the front door who thinks he has some sort of authority to bypass my signs that say no trespassing? I don't know. A lot of rogue people out there. I mean, some good cops for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good people out there. But so stop committing felonies. Go to lastflagstanding.com. Um, really don't want to have to fine any of you guys for trespassing. Poor Connie from Bay State Constable. Yeah, she's gonna have to find her because that's getting ridiculous. That poor thing. I've been telling her. I mean, stop taping stuff to my house. It's not actually serving anything. I mean, literally, when you tape something to my house, not serving us with anything. Just trespassing and committing a felony with the paperwork that you have on it. So thanks for listening. Get with the correctness and go to lastflagstanding.com and get your claim to life. That would be great. We'd love to have more people on board. Take care.